Today, I'm going to be asking 13 millionaires what the best way to make $1 million is. Did you just build $1 million business here with us right now?
Yeah, I did.
Right now, I threw a mastermind. There's about 40 people here. All of them run 7 or 8 figure businesses, e-com, real estate, agencies, you name it, they're here. It's been an absolute blast. You can see the cars. You can pan over to all the people over here. Yeah, we're going to have a good time. We're going to walk around and ask people, what's the best way to make a mill? How did you end up making your first $1 million?
E-com, high ticket e-com specifically. A lot of people think it's more complicated to sell expensive products, and that's not the case. It takes the same amount of effort as it does to sell a $50 product, to sell a $1,500 or $2,000 product. High ticket e-com is the way to go if you want to make your first million online.
Cool, bro. And what about you, Rahul? How did you make your first million?
So I'm actually the complete opposite as Eb. I am low ticket e-commerce. I started yes, exactly. I started with Facebook ads back in 2018 when it was low-key popping, and then moved over to TikTok ads in 2020. I think that was right when it was in beta, actually.
Sick, bro. Well, Ebenezer, what do you think is the best way if somebody were to come into, like, let's say the e-com space, because that's what we both do, and actually make $1 million in profit?
If you want to make $1 million profit, okay, you're gonna need to diversify. That's the mistake I made in the beginning. I didn't do that. And I'm not saying go to other business models. Just put the money to use. Let that money go get a job.
What are some ways that you made your money work for you?
So right now, that is actually car rentals, right? I do exotic car rentals now. It's definitely a fun business model. You get to drive fun cars and you make money off them. Similar to real estate where you're putting a down payment down on the car, right? And then that down payment is gonna come back to you when you sell the car. It's slightly different than real estate because the car doesn't really appreciate, but you're getting cash flow off the car.
Absolutely. And what about you, Rahul? If somebody was coming into the e-commerce space, what do you think is the best way to make $1 million for them?
Don't be all over the place, and don't also emotionally attach yourself. One thing that personally with me, I think that really killed me, bro, was that I spent so much time and so much money on a product that I thought would work, and I really wanted to make work, but I couldn't.
You married it.
Exactly, dude. And that's what killed me. I feel like if I would have cut that product off, it's like a toxic girlfriend, right? It's like a love and hate relationship, right? As funny as it sounds, it's true, right? You need to cut it off in your life to move up and move to a better place. So I think focusing on one business that you really are passionate and you have interest about, in this case, drop shipping, or even the ad platform that you want to focus on. And number 2, you gotta be emotionless, because at the end of the day, it's business.
Absolutely, bro. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out. Always a good time when you guys show up. And thank you so much for the sauce, too.
I have an email agency that currently does about $1.5 million in sales a month.
What is the best way to make $1 million?
I would say a service-based business. Whenever you build a service-based business, you're able to have complete control over the product and build something that is fantastic for your customers over time, rather than being stuck to the manufacturing of a specific product.
Absolutely sick. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, of course, man. You gotta redo the dap, bro. Come on.
All right, this is my boy Nori, absolute savage. How did you make your first $1 million?
I just found a problem that everybody has, and I went out to solve it. But not only did I solve it, I wanted to talk to people in a way where it makes the most sense. I'm a salesman, obviously, as we can tell. And yeah, I basically run a solar organization. We do about 1.5 million a month. Everybody has an electricity bill, and my job is to eliminate that.
So if somebody were to come up to you and say, like, hey, in today's day and age, what's the best way to go from zero and actually go out and make $1 million?
Go out, sell something, sell a product that makes sense. And if you do it enough times, eventually you'll become a millionaire.
Absolutely, bro. Thank you so much. Thanks for
pleasure,
coming
bro.
out. Who's the hottest person in the room?
Political answer, my girlfriend. Real answer, Tanner.
All right, guys, I'm sure you're familiar. This is my boy Tanner, absolutely killing the game right now. How did you make your first $1 million?
Started with physical drop shipping, shipping stuff from overseas. If you've tried it, you may know there's some headaches in it, logistics, shipping, upset customers. So eventually we started moving things in-house. Like, okay, we still want to be able to start online businesses here, without a super high barrier to entry. And that's where we started digital drop shipping. So selling digital products online, but you actually don't have to be an expert in the space you're in, because you can find PLR content, hire freelancers, or even just buy the rights to, say, if I owned a product or he owned a product, and resell that as my own.
So I actually bought Tanner's digital dropshipping course, and it was amazing. So if you're not following him, go give him a follow on YouTube. But let me ask you, brother, what do you think is the best way for somebody to come into the e-com game and make $1 million? Do you think it's digital products, physical products? What do you think is the move?
I think if you're starting from scratch, the best thing you can do just by getting your foot in the door is just selling something. When I break it down a little bit more, I do recommend digital products just because there's a lot more advantages, a lot more profit potential. I just recommend going all in, because if you just focus on that, start making your first few sales, get proof of concept, that's when you know, okay, you have conviction, you know it works. Now it's, okay, what do I want to do next and scale?
Absolutely, bro. Thank you so much for coming and dropping this knowledge on us.
I love you.
Love you too. How did you make your first $1 million?
Listening to you.
I'm a drop shipper, and I actually was the first money I ever made was taking on Noah as a mentor.
Absolutely. Back in 2019, yep, came to me doing like what, 1,000 a day or something, and then we scaled that store to $2 million in like 6 months. And I actually have a case study on my YouTube channel. I think it's 0 to 2 million in 6 months, like 3-part, went super in depth on all the ad account. We shared everything. Let me ask you, bro, in today's day and age, what do you think is the best way for someone to come into the space and actually make $1 million profit?
I think depending on any space that you come into, it's just all about consistency. Everyone quits, so the people that actually are eager to learn, they're gonna win.
100% agree. We've seen a lot of people, in my group come into my mentorship, course, whatever, that, in the beginning they're popping, but then they die out and then they quit. And then like that's most of what happens around here, like not many people actually stick with it. And to think that, we started working together 2019 and you're still in the game, it's fucking sick, bro. So thank you so much for coming out and thank you for giving your words of advice. What's going on, bro? What's going on, Jake? This is my boy Jake. Absolute savages in the e-com space. First of all, can I ask you guys, like, how did you make your first million?
So I found a niche product in like 2019, and so I was able to scale it through theme pages on Instagram, and then I got into Facebook ads from there. Scaled my agency from there.
I keep it simple, man. I buy products and then resell them.
Buy products and sell them. You heard it here first, bro. What do you think the best way for someone to come into this space and actually make $1 million in profit is?
I'd say asking a lot of questions to anybody that's like already doing e-commerce, and then obviously doing like a lot of research, because you can't just go into it like with no knowledge wanting to make $1 million.
Absolutely. Did you have a mentor?
Yeah, I have a few mentors.
You want to name drop some?
Tanner Chittister, Justin Wall.
What about you, my boy Jake, my absolute homie? We've been chilling a long time and absolutely crushes e-com. What do you think the best way for someone to come in and make $1 million in profit is?
I mean, I'd take on to that info a little bit, just acquiring knowledge, and yeah, finding a product that targets women that not a lot of people are selling.
Targets women.
Women, dude, yeah, and then sell a product that doesn't have a lot of saturation.
What's the reason for targeting women?
Women like to buy stuff, man.
And they buy shit, huh?
They buy shit, dude, and a lot of shit they don't need. So I love women though, so nothing against them.
Yeah,
but
me too.
They buy stuff, so yeah.
This is my boy Chris. Thank you so much for coming out, brother. We've been working together for years. This guy is the best accountant in the world, especially for e-commerce and online business. How did you actually make your first $1 million?
Through my accounting firm. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, but my first real successful entrepreneurship endeavor was through my accounting firm.
What's the best way for an e-commerce business owner to save $1 million in taxes?
Yeah, so tax planning is definitely very complicated. Being organized is very, very important. If you really want to save a lot of money in taxes, honestly, the best thing you can do is relocate to Puerto Rico. Honestly, if you really want to, skimp out on the taxes, that's the best thing you can do.
Go give this man a follow, and if you ever need help with anything e-commerce accounting related, definitely hit him up. He's actually one of the sponsors here at this event. He helped us throw it, and we'll definitely be working together a lot more in the future. How did you make your first $1 million?
My first $1 million was made with drop shipping. Really, really good at Facebook ads, and I was just able to sell online. That was it.
I remember, bro. We were talking back in 2018, 2019. Yep. What would you say, like, if somebody was to come into the e-com space or even the business world in general, because I know you're involved in a lot of different industries, what's the best way for someone to come in and actually, bank $1 million in profit?
Get really good at one thing. Don't try and jump around into 20 different business ideas. Literally do it for a year, and you're going to be well on your way to making $1 million.
This is my boy Dom Marachi. Can I ask you how you made your first $1 million?
So strictly through Shopify dropshipping was how I made my money. I started off with Facebook ads, so paid traffic and just really trying to find a product that people loved and that we were able to be, profitable on the front end. And then slowly moving into really organic traffic was the way that really my income took off. Figuring out the social media platforms that people are on, giving them a product that works directly with it was how I went ahead and made my first $1 million.
What would you say is the best way for somebody to come into even the world of business to do anything and actually go and make their first $1 million in profit?
The best way is to study a specific platform, whether that be Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. They all have things that they can offer. They all have different audiences to cater to. Finding a demographic and selling to them directly based on that. For me, for example, TikTok has been my #1 way to do it. So just strictly learning the algorithm, studying the algorithm inside and out, understanding why and what makes a video go viral, and then realizing, okay, now that we have a video going viral and we have views on views on views, how do we put in a product or monetize a service or whatever it might be, either at the end of the video, somewhere in the caption. That's been the #1 way that I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs come into the space and just kill it.
This is my boy Jose, also known as Revenue Express, right there on the shirt, baby. Straight savage with Facebook ads. How did you make your first $1 million?
For me, it's e-commerce. I mean, I've been doing it for the last 6 years, but I feel there's different levels that you have to unlock first, and that's going to be personal level when it comes into being disciplined. First conquer your emotions, persistence, and not giving up. I think once you conquer that, you can achieve anything.
And if somebody were to come into the space and they wanted to make $1 million net profit. What do you think is the best way to do it?
Definitely going to be TikTok organic, right? Because you don't have to put any money up front. The organic, understand how to grab attention. That is the most crucial currency right now, is attention. Now you have some cash flow coming in. You can then put that cash into Facebook advertising, which means you can then scale up and make more revenue, more profit.
Yeah, more revenue express, baby.
There you go.
All right, so I'm here with Sebastian Georgiou. I'm sure a lot of you know him. He's been absolutely killing the e-com game lately, and YouTube, and a bunch of other shit. Like, dude's an absolute menace. How did you make your first mil?
Well, it was a bunch of things. I was doing a lot of things at once. So e-commerce with YouTube, those two things.
And now you branched off into what, like real estate, everything?
I have a marketing agency. I'm doing real estate. I do private lending. I have a SaaS. I think that's it.
All right, cool. Let's hit the golden question. What do you think the best way for somebody to come into the world of business or whatever and actually go out and make $1 million is?
First of all, you need to become valuable, because if you're broke, the chances are you probably don't have any value to give to the world. So you need to pick a skill and monetize that skill, ideally something that has a large cap, so that's something that you can always increase in. And then once you get really good at that skill, let's just take video editing, for example. Once you get really good at that skill, you can create a business around it. So you can hire people, you can teach them how to do video editing. You could sign on a bunch of clients, develop a video editing language, and then sign on a couple big YouTubers and start a brand. And then before you know it, you're making 20, 30K a month, which is very attainable, very average in like this part of the world, like online business world. And yeah, you turn it into a business, probably a 7-figure business if you scale it up there. So get a skill, develop a skill, get really good at the skill, create your own style, make it your own, market it to the world, and then teach people how to do it and create a business, get employees, and just scale.
Did you just build $1 million business here with us right now?
Yeah, I did.
Absolutely. Yo, if you guys want more advice on like how to make money online, like pretty much any topic, go follow this dude on YouTube. He makes videos all the time. Dude's an absolute menace. Thank you so much for coming out, bro. Obviously, tons of incredible advice was just given, and obviously great turnout here at the Mastermind. If you want to be involved with what we do with 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs, then definitely hit me up. Join our Discord. We have an amazing community. We got about 40 to 50 people to show up to this event. It was an absolute blast, and I'm happy that a lot of them were able to come out and speak with you. Make sure you go give all of them a follow. Most of them are posting content, posting advice where they can actually give you more value and more specific advice on how to build a successful store or a successful business in general. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't yet, and I'm going to be making a lot more content like this. So that's pretty much it for this video though. I'm out. Peace.